We stopped counting the days lost in the rhythm.
The fight against climate change can become a global mission for new jobs and clean growth, Rishi Sunak will tell the heads of state and government at the COP27 summit. The Prime Minister will also say it is important that nations live up to the commitments they made at COP26 in Glasgow a year ago. It will provide more than £200 million for forest protection and green technology in developing countries. Mr. Sunak is making his first appearance on the international stage in Egypt after becoming Prime Minister last month. He arrived in Sharm el-Sheikh on Sunday night and will join other world leaders at the UN summit, including US President Joe Biden and Emmanuel Macron of France. Mr. Sunak will also meet French President Mr. Macron at the summit, where the issue of migrants crossing the English Channel in small boats is likely to be raised. The Prime Minister said the reduction in the number of crossings was a key priority. He will say that Russia's invasion of Ukraine reinforced means ending dependence on fossil fuels. However, argue that this move can give a boost to new green industries. The world came together in Glasgow with one last chance to create a plan that would limit global temperature rises to 1.5 C. The question today is, can we summon the collective will to deliver on those promises? He will say. By honoring the pledges we made in Glasgow, we can turn our struggle against climate change into a global mission for new jobs and clean growth. And we can bequeath our children a greener planet and a more prosperous future. It comes, however, that Petteri Talas, Secretary General of the World Meteorological Organization, has warned that the 1.5 C target is barely within reach. And the United Nations Weather and Climate Panel has released a report showing that the rate at which sea levels are rising has doubled since 1993. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres has labeled the report "Chronicle of Climate Chaos" and urged governments at COP27 to answer the planet's distress signal with ambitious, credible climate action. The UK will also provide £90 million to protect the Congo Basin rainforest and £65 million to support indigenous and local communities. At the start of the two-week summit, the United Nations warned that, based on countries' latest climate plans, there is currently no credible path to reach the 1.5-degree target, which aims to avoid the worst effects of global warming. If temperatures rise 1.7 to 1.8 degrees Celsius above 1850s levels, the IPCC estimates that half the world's population could face life-threatening heat and humidity. Rich countries are also failing to provide the finance needed to help developing countries adapt to a changing climate and pursue clean development, the UN has warned. The conference aims to discuss how to compensate for the loss and damage that developing countries are suffering as a result of global warming. Labour's Ed Miliband criticised Mr. Sunak's ability to lead the UK on climate change as he had to be dragged kicking and screaming to go to the summit. The Shadow Climate Change Secretary said, "Rishi Sunak is the man who had to be dragged kicking and screaming to go to COP. So it's simply implausible for him to claim the mantle of climate leadership." Rishi Sunak is a fossil fuel prime minister in a renewable age. Labour has pledged to boost green industries and is planning a £1 billion project to invest in net zero jobs in Humber and Teesside, Merseyside, Grangemouth and South Wales. The plans, unveiled as part of Labour's pledge to phase out fossil fuels in the UK by 2030, aim to bring down energy costs for good and create hundreds of thousands of jobs.